Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live color along. Good morning to Chris and Sherry. So let's do sound check because last week we had a couple of hiccups, right? Let me see here. Good morning to Melissa. Who else is here with us this morning? Scarlett is here with us this morning. Sherry, Chris, Melissa. Hopefully I can keep up with these comments today because it's doing something funky. So I'm going to look at something else here. Hang on a second. Oh, Scarlett says hello. So today's topic is monochromatic. How is everyone this morning? Let's see if we can invite people too, Scarlett. Monochromatic, should we stick with the topic of green for the day? I gotta change something around. Hang on one second. Here you go, Scarlett. Keep up with these comments today because it's doing. Wow. Okay, hear you loud and clear. All right, cool. All right, I'm just gonna keep up with the comments over on this side here. Hopefully that'll work. Or maybe I can put it right here. Okay. So this morning, how is everyone today? Happy St. Patrick's Day, right? Gonna get a couple of biscuits for the dog. We're not coloring with those. Hear me loud and clear. Awesome, Sherry. Hey, Melissa. Let's see if I can invite people. How do I invite people? Does anybody know? Let's see. Share. No, that won't work. So this morning, we are coloring the monochromatic theme style, right? And monochromatic is all about one color. So I'm going to show, there was something in one of these coloring handbooks about monochromatic. Let me take a look. I've kind of had a rough night, so if I'm a little, like, not myself, let me know. It's been a little crazy with some stuff happening, some family stuff happening. Everything's okay, but it's just been kind of a rough night. So, I was looking forward to today's color along, actually, as a great escape. Do you ever look for a great escape from things? I do. Does it work, the great escape? Good morning, Mamie. I'm glad you're here. So let's see what's happening here. I have monochromatic in here. Maybe I should look at the page number and be like, you know, organized for a change. Page number 40. Scarlett, I don't have any more biscuits, sweetie. All right, so this volume of the coloring handbook is volume 1, and there's a tutorial about monochromatic. And monochromatic is all about when we use one color. Now, it doesn't have to be the same medium, but we're going to use Faber Castell's Grip Markers today. It also means that you can use different shades of the same color. So, I mean, coincidentally enough, we have a green mandala right here, which I'm kind of surprised that I did that. Not planned, right? So when we're creating that monochromatic look, we want to kind of create a visually cohesive look. We want it all to come together with different shades and different colors, created only by that one color. So we're going to talk about that. And I guess sometimes it's easier to color that way. I've got to get Scarlett to be quiet again. Hang on one second here. She's obviously got something up her sleeve. What happened here, you guys? Oh, I see. That's it, you guys. Whew, sorry about that. So anyway, so what's cool about monochromatic coloring too is that you can also kind of color on, like, what do you need to take with you? Hey, I want to color. I'm going to bring a coloring book with me. I have an appointment. I'm just going to sit there. All you need to bring is maybe 1 or 2 colors with you, right? Hey, Diana. So you don't need to bring the whole pack of pencils with you, right? You can just bring a couple. We're also going to be able to mix some colors. You can use different techniques. So as we're coloring today's page, which is called Fearless, it's from my Positive Words coloring book, we're really going to focus on different techniques. So we could use pointillism as a technique. We could use speckled. We could use some shading. We're even going to do something with a little bit of water and a paintbrush. So that's going to be different for us. So the only thing that is not really considered monochromatic would be black and white. However, if you colored something in all gray, then certainly that would be called monochromatic. So you just really want to make sure that you are using one color. You can darken it with white. Darken it with white. Darken it with black, lighten it with white. So you can create all different shades. So some people will ask a question, well, I'm using red. I'm going to close this up and get to today's page. I'm using red, and I'm going to put some white in it, and that's going to make pink. Does that still fall under the monochromatic theme? What do you think? What does everybody think? Let me know in the comments. What do you think about that? Does pink fall into the palette of monochromatic colors along with red? What do you think, Diana? How about you, Sherry? Let me see if we can get this shared out. Share is what I say today. Let me see here. Share. Here we go. More options. Share to a group. I'm going to share this to the Just Color Coloring group. Get this shared. So you can certainly use many different colors. Use that color pink, right? Lynn is saying, yeah, she's absolutely right. So you've got a red that you're using, and you can actually get that pink color becomes in that family. So today I have a variety of Faber Castell grip markers. Now you can use any brand, right? You're right, Sherry and Amy. You can use any brand marker today. These are water-based markers, these grip markers. These are incredible markers. I call them, yep, you're right, Chris. I call them the clown car of the markers. They never seem to run out. I don't know what is up with it, but they just never, ever seem to run out. I gotta help Scarlett. She's in a pickle today. Here you go. Scarlett's kind of got problems today. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so I've got all these Faber Castell markers. Some of them are doubles, like right here, because I have 2 sets of these. This is another double. Well, this is a little bit different. I think it's a little bit different, but maybe it's just the lighting. Now, if you notice, I also have yellows. And I have some blues because we are going to make green. Now, let's start out with the first pot that's like the super fun. Well, yeah, let's start out with that super fun part up here, okay? I've got a piece of paper here. I have a lid, like a plastic lid, and I have a little bit of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue, and I'm going to color it on top of the plastic lid. This is just clear water. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. Then I'm going to take this darker yellow, it's kind of like a golden yellow, and color that on top of it. And it's making, can you all see that, or are my closed captions in the way? I think the closed captions were in the way, right? Let me slide it over to this side. I'm going to color on top of that. And that just made green with the 2 colors, right? Now I'm going to take a little bit of water in a clean brush and dip the water dip the water in the brush. This is the kind of night I've had, okay? So this should be interesting. Dip the water in the brush, dip the brush in the water. Stop laughing at me, Chris. And I'm just going to kind of wet this area right here, and it just kind of became like watercolor paint, right? Then I'm going to take my brush and paint it on back here. I want to make sure that I stay within this line, just this top section here. So I'm just painting it on. You know what I mean? Just painting the whole thing on here. Here we go here. This is really not the best paper for a lot of water because you don't want it to get like, you know, what do they call it? I call it piles. I don't know if that's the right word. But here we have just that green. Pretty cool. You can do this with Crayola Super Tips too, where you can just kind of make that color, or you can treat the marker like watercolor because it is simply Simply water-based. So we've got that light green happening there. Now with the bottom section, I'm going to leave that for later because I want to, hey, Jean Mellinger, I'm going to go from top to bottom. Okay. So now let's color this next section here, this zigzag line. And I'm going to go with a darker green. So of course, let me just make sure this marker works. Of course, I'm using green for the holiday. Is everybody eating green food today? I'm not really a fan of green food. You know, green eggs and ham, that type of thing. Around here, it's more of a, well, there is a big giant St. Patrick's Day parade around here, but on Saturday, I think it's on Saturday. But corned beef and cabbage. Is anybody eating corned beef and cabbage today? I don't really like corned beef and cabbage. But let me tell you, when they have a sale on corned beef and cabbage, corned beef or cabbage or everything to make it, it is a huge savings. Talk about stretching your dollar. Stretching $1 for a meal, right? All right, so there is that green color. And these don't have names on them, sadly. I think maybe they should. So just coloring in between this section here. I wish I was eating corned beef and cabbage. Do you like it? You must love it, Chris, right? I'm not really a fan of it. One time, I'll tell you this crazy story. I want to make sure I put this where I am not distracted. One time, I had gone to this restaurant, and I'm just going to continue coloring the fearless word here, because we all need to be fearless, right? One time I had gone to this restaurant and it was like, I guess it was around St. Patrick's Day. And this guy next to me had ordered this boiled dinner, it was called. It wasn't really called corned beef and cabbage. It was called boiled dinner. And I'm going to tell you, hey, Jean, top of the morning to you too, my friend. We're all meeting at Jean's house at 2 o'clock today to go have corned beef. This plate, I mean, I swear, I'll never forget this. This was probably a good 10 or 15 years ago. The amount of food that this man consumed, or that he was even served, we thought it was the plate that was for like family style, and it wasn't. He must have eaten about like 3 full-size potatoes, maybe 3 or 4 carrots, full carrots. Like, it was crazy how much food he ate. I mean, I still think about it now, and I think to myself, first of all, it would have made me feel hot to eat that much of a boiled dinner, right? It was just like the steamiest thing. I mean, the plate he was eating out of had to be like a platter that you would serve, like, I don't know, something for the whole table. Like, let's put the turkey on the table in a big plate, in like a platter. And I'm carrying the turkey in my hands right now as I'm telling you this. And let's give it to just one person, you know? I'm going to put some dots here with this darker green inside the middle of it. It was crazy. I think it would be my fear, is that if someone placed that in front of me, I would have to eat the whole thing. I don't know. Fearless. What do you think about this word fearless? I have a lot of fears. I don't like to entertain them, but, you know, it's crazy, stupid fears. You know, not like, I don't know. I mean, I have the fear of that giant bug with all the legs. Does anybody else have crazy fears that they, that are weird? I mean, that bug, I don't know what it does to me. It paralyzes me. You may think it was an elephant walking in a room. Not really afraid of a mouse, but I really do wish I could be a little more fearless. I don't know. I really do think I could be fearless. Or wish I could be. I've been working on that, actually. It's one of the things I've been working on about myself, to actually become someone that has less fear about something. It's not working out so good, by the way. All right, so now the next one, I'm going to do the same thing with coloring the every others. These markers are really nice, by the way. And, you know, sometimes a marker will give you, like, those streaks. And this marker does, but if you color it like you're kind of like slightly, lightly kissing the page, then it will not really give you that much of a streak. Definitely not like an alcohol marker. I do have those midliners in my shopping cart, Chris. Those are on my list. So I'm working on these dog and cat cards. Did anybody see my dog and cat cards? It's a dog deck. I'm calling it the dog deck and the cat deck. It's simple, right? Simple name for them. And I am going to be printing them here in my studio myself, cutting them myself. I'm not sure if Scholar and Paisley will be helping or not, but I'm going to do my best to put them to work. Hey, good morning, Dawn. And they're going to come in a little package, and I have something else I would like to add to them, but I don't want to reveal it until I have it in my hands. So it'll be something else with the deck, which is so different than anything I've ever offered, or anything I ever created. And then I thought what might be fun is over the next week, when I'll be putting all of this together, is to do a live video and assemble everything and get it all put together. Get all the pieces together and chat with everyone. And because live videos are when the inspiration starts to flow, right? It's when all of the, I don't know, all of the fear goes away, you know? I couldn't get up in front of I don't know, I couldn't talk to like a room full of people with like 5 people in it, but I'm losing the fear of talking during these videos, right? Thank you, Chris. The cards are adorable, aren't they? So I've done a cat deck and I've done a dog deck, and there's not going to be quotes. I was going to use quotes, but I decided to not use quotes. I wrote them myself, so I decided to just write it up myself, and they'll be on cardstock. Gina's telling us she does boiled dinners offers. Ring bologna or sausage, even a pork roast at times. Always use lots of cabbage, carrots, and potatoes. What is ring bologna? I don't know if I know what that is. Does anybody else know what that is, or am I in the dark? Let's see. So I don't know. What are you guys afraid of? Was there something that you wish that you were that you wish you were fearless as you faced it? I mean, I could go like dig deep and like, you know, open the vaults and talk about other stuff, but I don't want to do that. That would be crazy. You know when people do that on Facebook and they start to like, you know, spill the beans about everything, about their whole life? What do you think about that? I say just like, I don't know, not keep your mouth shut, but some things you got to kind of like leave private, you know? So here is this section here, and I'm using this dark green for the middle. This was kind of a turquoisey color, don't you think? Hey, Lynn Fasella, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Is it really foggy where you are today, Lynn? It is so foggy here today. Like, you can't even see the car that is, like, across the street. It's like low fog. All right, I'm going to go back into this middle section here with this lighter green. And maybe you can't really see it on the camera. You're terrified of bats? Oh, me too. I am terrified of bats. Have you ever had a bat in your house? Like flying around that you had to face? I have not, thank God. Oh my goodness. I would never. But that bug with all the legs, what do you call that bug? Millipede or something? I don't know. That one really gets to me. One time, I had a bird in my house. Rain, no fog at Lynn's house, in Lynn Miller's house. Just got home from errands, Lynn Fasella is saying. What else is she telling us? It is foggy. Doesn't sound as bad as where you are, though. Yeah, it's really bad here. My mom used to use cottage ham in her boiled dinners with potatoes, carrots, and cabbage. Oh, roaches. Yeah. Hey, Donna. No, I don't really think I'm afraid of roaches as much as I'm afraid of bats. What is it called? A centipede? Ew, is what I say, right? Ew, ew, ew. One time there was a bird in my house, recently actually, maybe last year, I think. So there was this bird, and it was on the second floor of my house. You may have thought that this bird was like, I don't know. All right, imagine a bird flying around like in your living room. Wings spread, full span, right? I mean, when they're in the sky and you look up, it's really not that big of a deal. But when the bird is flying in the room that you like, you're a room, like a living room, and like normal size house, and you're standing there, and this bird is like zipping around, zipping around. So I decided that I would try to catch this bird, right? So I decided, I opened both windows and pulled up the screen and made a way for it to get out, right? So there's the bird finally sitting there on the, like sitting on a cabinet or something. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this bird, go to the window, right? So I'm trying to tell this bird, you've got to fly to the window. Just go to the window, go to the window. Come on, you got to get out of here. This is not a place for you. You're not welcome here. Just go. Well, apparently he didn't like that, so he decided to just like really, really kind of like fly and really spread his wings. A bird in your house and cats in your house are a disaster. Oh my God, I can imagine, Dawn. I don't know what Scarlett's barking at. I think someone might be walking around. I can imagine. Well, let me tell you, the dogs didn't really help anything. But anyway, I happen to have a butterfly net that I had bought at the dollar store. Now, I know that is weird. I thought it was weird too. But let me tell you something. It really came in handy because when it was time to catch this bird, I got my trusty butterfly net from the dollar store, and I simply caught the bird, scooped it up in the butterfly net, and then I just said, that's it. You are out of my house, and we got rid of the bird. Pterodactyl? Is that what that word is, Donna? Someone is texting me. I gotta see who it is. My cat is scared of everything. He would probably run from a bird. My dogs would probably eat it. One time, my next door neighbor's cockatiel, which I guess they had the bird in a cage. I gotta check this text message though, my friends. Hold on one second. All right. That is done. Was anybody else sending me a message? Oh, it's been a crazy, 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 crazy day. Let me tell you. Okay, back to the little story here. What was I talking about? Oh my God, I don't even remember. What was I talking about? I don't know if I even remember. What is happening to me? We were talking about the bird, right? Oh, the cockatiel. So one time my neighbor had a cockatiel. It was this yellow bird, and they had him outside in a cage. I guess he was getting some fresh air. I don't really know. And the bird got out of the cage and flew into my yard. And at the time, I had a German wire hair pointer dog, which looks like Tramp from Lady and the Tramp. And I go to look, and this dog was like 110 pounds. And I go to look, and there he was with this chocolate nose, with all yellow feathers plastered against his nose. And he was just so proud of himself that he just caught this bird, killed it by accident, you know? Chris says, I had a bird in my house. I hit the floor and had a laundry basket on my head. Are you trying to catch yourself? We had a couple of times the bird was not only critter was flying through those. Oh my goodness. What is a pterodactyl? What are we talking about, Donna? Dawn, my comment to you about the bats is ick. I'm going to put all dots here. And then the next one. What do you think about these stripes? I feel like we need more stripes on the next one. What do you think? I'm going to do this color here for the every others, making a pattern. And then I'm just thinking that brush could really kind of create a coating on the back, you know? a background noise. This is the background. See, this is where my head is. I'm telling you. One of my family members just had surgery, so it's been kind of a crazy night. Kind of checking in and worrying, but everything's okay. All right, so let's see. This part right here. Now, we've got this middle section here, and I'm going to go stripe with this. But I'm going to use this kind of like bats, sky, puppies. Okay, do you have bat houses in your yard? You probably do. Don't even tell me. Let's make like a checkered pattern here. And then this part right here. So we've got kind of like a little checkered mess going on. Sky puppies. A lot of people do like a bat, though. Not for me. We're going to leave them just to dawn. All right, so here is this green color here. And then I'm thinking that maybe light green. You should definitely do them. Bat houses. Do you follow those guys on YouTube, Dawn? Tyler and Todd? I'm going to put light green inside here. It's a checkered mess. They live in Canada, in Nova Scotia, and they live on, I want to say 10 acres. You're not seeing comments? You're in the right place, Len. Maybe you need to refresh. But I gotta say, I'm looking at this on my phone and the comments are not coming up. But I am looking at it on my computer too, so I don't know. Maybe you need to refresh. Tyler and Todd are on YouTube, and they have this YouTube channel where they just document their life living off-grid. And they have 10 acres of land in Nova Scotia. They have 2 golden retrievers. That's really the reason I started watching them in the first place, was to watch the dogs. And they have done some amazing things with their property. It's incredible what they have done. They just finished building a geodesic dome as their house, and it's definitely worth watching. It's better than any, I don't know. I don't want to say it's better than any TV show, but it is really, really, really. I've been following them for maybe a couple of years now, and they've had a really, really, really huge following. Oh, Chris is having problems too. Going to try to come out and come back in. Oh, Lynn is she's telling Lynn, bats eat lots of flying insects. I do see bats sometimes. I do see bats sometimes flying around my yard. Flipping around my yard, you know, doing like, you know, a little acrobatic show going on back there. Let's put some dots in here. Yeah, you would love them. What they have done with their property is incredible. They even built an outdoor shower. They built a pond. They have this huge solar field. They're completely off grid. They just built a geodesic dome. This is what they're living in now, and they're going to be building a cabin, which I don't think is going to be done for a couple of years. But they're also going to be building a geodesic dome greenhouse. Pointers are great dogs. Have you ever seen a wire hair pointer? My dog Willie, the wire hair pointer, he was incredible. The smartest dog. Very possessive of me. If I sat on the couch, the other dogs with him, the other dogs would be like, go away. They kind of look like a Drothar or a Griffin. But they also they look like Lady and the Tramp. He looks like Tramp from Lady and the Tramp. Incredible. Incredible, incredible dog. Matter of fact, I follow this other guy on YouTube, this tiny house guy that, I don't know the name of that YouTube channel, but I started following him because he has a wire hair pointer named Ace that follows him everywhere, and that was really what kind of attracted him. I just look for the dog. How about you? Forget the people. right? No people for you. My old house, the hide in the old horse stalls come out. In my old house, let me go to see what this is Jean saying it. Is it Jean saying this? Oh, no, Dawn. My old house, hide in the old horse stalls come out at night. Oh, for the bats. Yes. They're too smart, aren't they? They are very, very, very smart dogs. Pointers are extremely smart. I love a short hair pointer. I follow a short hair pointer Instagram page. I figure it's easier than, you know, adding another dog to the family. Although, you know, I entertain the thought monthly. What are your dogs' names, Jane? One of my dogs was a golden retriever and English pointer mix. Wicked smart, as they say, you know? All right, so this is just this light green color. Now, let's do another green stripe here along the bottom, right here. And make it match what's here. So I'm just going to use the same color. I'm going to kind of like shift my body. If I was coloring this, you know, by myself, I would be spinning my page around a little bit. But I don't want to make anyone dizzy. Paisley is snoring. All right, so here's this green color. This is kind of a funky green color. A lot of people have trouble with greens. Lately, I've been having trouble with greens. Mostly when I'm painting. Not really when I'm coloring, but when I'm working on a painting, I have trouble with greens sometimes. But I did find a couple of greens that I like to mix together. Heidi and Gretel. Oh, how awesome. My dog Willie's mom's name was Gretchen. Gretel, that's a perfect name for a German wire hair. German, right? They are very, very smart. Miss Bonnie Hughes is here with us this morning. Good morning, Bonnie Hughes. I don't know if she knows that I know she's here, but I know she knows she knows. I know she knows. No, I know she's here, even though she doesn't know I know. You know what, you know? You ever have people say that to you? I know you know what you don't know I know. All right, let's get some other colors in the middle. I'm going to take some of this light green here onto the little plastic thing with some yellow and some dark blue and add some bright yellow. Now I'm going to take my brush, dip the brush in the water, not the water in the brush, and add some water to it to make that watercolor color, right? Then I'm going to paint the background here. And it really is looking much different than I expected because it's not really looking as light as I thought. Hey, Sheila, you just saw the notification now? Yeah, you know, I wish I could send out the notification, you know? And, you know, I've thought about sending out a notification, like email when I'm live. But you know when people do that, they're like, join me live. It's like too many emails. I feel like I spend my time, like, deleting. You know? Deleting. So I'm mixing, again, some green here. So I can kind of color it with or paint it on with the water. I'm going to put some blue in here. That blue is dead. That blue bit the dust. Put some more blue right here. I was running out, obviously. A little bit of yellow. So we're making that green color. Take some water. Pretty simple, right? Can certainly do this with Crayola Super Tips, as long as the marker is water-based. Now, I think the burning question is, can you do this with alcohol-based markers and use alcohol? I would venture to guess you probably could. Thank you, Jean. I agree. I like to do mixed media too. And these colors do look good, you know, because it's got that nice background. I think that having the watercolor effect to it, using this color at the background really kind of changes the whole look of it, you know. I give it 2 thumbs up, right? All right, so there's kind of that part there. Now we've got the bottom section. And usually we want to make that bottom section a little heavier, but for this one, yes, you can. Dawn is giving me a yes, a go on the alcohol markers. You can do it. So you could also do the same technique by putting alcohol markers on a piece of plastic like this, plastic lid. I reuse these plastic lids all the time for my palettes for painting. And you could just use alcohol. Can you just use regular rubbing alcohol, Dawn? I think you can, right? Just regular old-fashioned rubbing alcohol. Let's add some more yellow to this one. Did you notice the price of rubbing alcohol, by the way? Recently, I had purchased peroxide, like hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol, just to kind of have it. And I couldn't believe the price. It's definitely gone up. Dawn says, I watched a video yesterday on staining wood with food coloring and water. Ooh, how about beet juice? That would be cool. Even just beets, even if you had like canned beets, take out that juice. So regular rubbing alcohol will work. Hence the price has gone up because now it's a craft supply, right? When it becomes a craft supply, it goes up. When it's something for the medical purposes, I think the price stays down. What do you think? All right, for the around part of it, the frame around it, I am actually going to flip this. See, look what happened though. A little bit of water smudge, but it's going to be okay. We could drop water on it and the whole thing would smudge. Actually, if we did that, if we kind of like flicked a little bit of water on it, it could be like our fears are disappearing, right? So let's do that. Let's represent our fears going away. Maybe we should have written something underneath it. Yeah, the juice from a can of beets is really strong, right? Maybe we should do a whole painting with like stuff like that. Something like natural dyes. Could boil down like I have a friend that does she boils down like different types of like roots of trees and uses it as dye. That would be interesting, wouldn't it, Dawn? This Monday, actually, I'm just going to kind of give it all dots in here. Next Monday, I have a painting class happening if anyone is interested in joining us. We meet live on Zoom, and there's a replay available if you couldn't meet live. So that's how that part works. But we are working on a still life painting on Monday, and we're going to actually paint it on a piece of glass. So we're going to use a frame, which I need to get to the dollar store and get a frame. And we're just going to use a frame, take the glass out, and then we're going to paint right on that glass, but we're going to paint backwards. So we're going to paint it backwards, and then we're going to flip it, and it'll be the back side of the glass that will be painted, and then what is facing you will be not painted. Does that make sense? So we're going to like do it, you know, backwards. We're going to have to really put our thinking caps on, and I'll tell you. I think we can do it. And it's just a basic still life. Basic still life. With acrylic paint. Okay. So we've got just these dots just to kind of finish this off. Sounds like someone is using a chainsaw outside my house right now. Do you see that post that people reverse painting? Yes. Yes, Dawn, you do. And I think that Carol was talking about, I know that Carol's not here with us today because she has something to do, but Carol was talking about putting like like a piece of, well, Lynn had talked about this, right, Lynn? Putting a piece of foil behind something. But Carol said she found like a foil, it's not, I don't know if it's foil paper, but we could put aluminum foil behind it. So have aluminum foil ready. This is me with a little sleep. My goodness. Oh my God. I better not, like, you know, purchase anything today. Pay a bill. No big purchases or signing documents today. All right. So here is all of these dots. Who is Pam that has joined us? I don't know if I saw that happening. Yeah, you could definitely boil carrots down, right? But do you think the water gets really orange from carrots? But if you bought the other kind of carrots, they were like a reddish carrot, right? Maybe we could even boil some dirt. That would be a good brown, I bet. Can make stone soup while we're at it. Bonnie Miller is watching. Hey, Bonnie Miller. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit more dots. And it is done. So I dripped that water on that just to kind of represent whatever your fears are. Poof, going away, right? Kind of a little added something to it, I guess. I don't know. So let's see. So this page is done. So next week, right? Boiled dirt, right, Lynn? Could be stone soup. Did you ever make stone soup when you were a kid in school? I always thought when we made stone soup in school like that really you had to really eat it. Remember that when you were a little kid? Like, I was like afraid, like, oh my God, we're really going to eat this stone soup? I don't know. It was just a little crazy to me. All right, so this one's done. I'm going to let it dry. Keep the book open and let it dry. But let's see what's coming up next week. So next week we are coloring, one of my favorites. It's a page from Cats and Kittens, and we're going to be using Amaze Rock pencils, which are actually, hey, Bonnie Miller, which are actually watercolor pencils. So it's a watercolor color along. And the page that we're going to be using is this page from Cats and Kittens coloring book, which is right here. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So this one is going to be on, what is next week's date? March 21st, I think, right? Is that the date? Or no? March 24th. I'm sorry, March 24th. So March 24th, we'll meet for that one. And then the following one, the last one in March, will be just a number 2 pencil. And we'll be working on this page, which is really, I guess, one of the biggest challenges that I've had with the number 2 pencil. Because it really has a lot of big spaces, and coloring a big spaced page or illustration with just a number 2 pencil can really put your blending and shading skills to the test, right? Stone soup for dinner and mud pie for dessert, right? Imagine if you actually made your kids eat that. Although, my dogs eat a lot of leaves outside, and I always wonder if I should, like, give them a bowl of leaves one night instead of giving them food. It's like you buy a $75 bag of dog food, was my last bag of dog food for them. And I just think to myself, why am I buying a $75 bag of dog food when they're dining on crunchy leaves? I should just bag those up and sell those, right? What do you think, Dawn? Crazy, isn't it? All right, so we're just going to leave this out, let it dry. So today, all about monochromatic. So remember, monochromatic is all about keeping in mind that the colors are all a single shade. So it's the same color, but a tint. So you could easily have a red, and as you lightened it with white, you could get down to pink. So that's monochromatic. You could get down to, you can mix colors, just like we did today, where we took blue and yellow markers and we mix them together to make a shade of green. So it's just all different shades. And actually, there's an example here in this book from Color Along Volume 1 with this cat page that tells you all about, that gives an example of those pinks and those reds. Okay? And this book actually has a monochromatic worksheet Yeah, the things dogs. I could go on and on, Dawn, right? The things that they eat. You got to wonder. You got to wonder. All right. So, we meet again next week. I'm going to end here so I can go check into the hospital and see how she's doing. And that's about it. I will talk to everyone soon. Thank you so much for distracting me today and joining me for this crazy collar along. And I'll see everyone next week. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.